I'll give you a bit of scenery as I do this one, because I've got some. But this one's on Brazil, of all places. The last time I was up here, where I am now, I was speaking about Brazil, but I was speaking about the Amazon on that occasion. Right now, I'm talking about something else that has just cropped up. I don't bring these subjects up. They bring themselves up when I'm talking to people. And, scenery, I forgot. Discrimination. And I found out in a chat I was having with someone just now that Brazil has very strict laws against discrimination. More scenery. And I thought, oh, that's nice. Yeah. But I was also a bit sus, because nowhere's nice. And and I doubted it, but I had no evidence for doubting it, other than humans are just bastards, the way we are too. This is all Indigenous Australian land, by the way, but we've got it now, and there's no Indigenous people here left. They would have loved this, the Indigenous people, when they owned it. It's beautiful. Would have been a lot more bush. We've cleared most of that out. But anyway, so Brazil. In the eyes of Brazilians, apparently, in the stories they tell themselves, they're actually a wonderful country on racial discrimination. That's the story they've been telling themselves. I googled a few things. I googled a couple of I googled a UN report and one or two other things, just briefly. I didn't get to the bottom of it, just a couple of things. And Brazilians apparently have prided themselves for a long time on the fact that they have had good racial mixing, and there's not that much discrimination on that front. They had, and I looked this up, 7 times as many African slaves come there as came to America, and an infinitely high number of slaves coming there compared to here in Australia, because we had none come here. But where are they? See, you can pride yourself on that, but then where are the Indigenous people? So I know a bit about the history of around here. When the first Europeans came to this area, which is where I grew up near here, just about everyone was dead already. The diseases had got them before we even got there. We Europeans, and my ancestors too, because my ancestors got here exactly when Melbourne was starting. One of my ancestors, her brother, my great-great-great-great-grandmother's brother, introduced gas to Victoria, of all things, and had a big hand in introducing glass to Victoria too. He was the first person to use gas in Victoria. His name was Overton. You can Google it, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when we, ancestors-wise, got here, the Indigenous people were pretty much gone. They said it was amazing. They came up to this area where I am now, Lancefield, and thereabouts, and they were all gone. And anyone who did survive didn't get a really good experience after that anyway. But anyway, Brazil has been priding itself apparently for a long time that they're not like, for example, us. But just a little, you have to dig a little bit, and it is true apparently. Lots of interbreeding or whatever you want to call it, and a whole new, what you might call race, the mulatto, which is half black, half white or whatever, every shade from black to white, and apparently not so bad, and very strict laws against discrimination, which probably come about, I suppose, when you do have a very high proportion of non-whites and all that sort of thing. And I thought, well, this is all very positive, and a little bit unexpected. But then I read a little further along in that UN report, and the UN report said there came a time in Brazil, for a long time, even the elites in Brazil were telling themselves this, because we've got strong laws against discrimination, and because there is a lot of mixed marriages and all that sort of stuff, interbreeding, well, we are a bit of a model. We pride ourselves on our mixing, But you dig a little bit deeper, and in some ways they might be just as bad as us. As it turns out, you would think, how could that possibly be? And the way it works is this. It came to pass that even though they had those laws against discrimination, it turns out that the elite and the people in power ended up white after all. And that all that intermixing was happening amongst the poorer classes and the classes that weren't in power. Now that's interesting. So massive amount of intermixing, but the very few whites that were there ruled the joint.